Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am VAOS, and I am unfortunately sick. Yes, so, I'm on the loopy drugs, but I'm going to try to get through this as fast as I can. Now, yesterday I made a video, threw it together as best as I could with the way I was feeling, and I figured had been a while since a lot of people had seen or asked about battleships in space and warfare. I had that thing going on with HAPAT for a while, and unfortunately, because of events, we kind of lost touch with that. But one of these days, I'll get in contact with him and we'll start it up again. Hopefully, one of these days. Also, with the Duna 1 going on, Duna 1 is going, unfortunately, very slow because of not only real life events, but also the mods for some reason that I'm using. I guess I'm using too many, but I thought I'm only using like 5 or 6 for what do you call that? Cosmetics, for clouds and stuff, to make it look prettier. It makes the game run so slow when I try to do camera angles and I try to make things happen, and the game has crashed numerous times on me and has actually made me rage quit for like a couple of days before I actually went back to it and rolled up my sleeves and went back to it. I'm hoping that maybe when KSP 1.1 comes out, all these issues will be fixed and I'll be able to record without worrying about the game crashing on me so much. Because it really makes recording a story like Duna 1 very hard, especially when you're right in the middle of a scene and the scene looks so beautiful and all of a sudden it lags and then goes again and you're like, oh, it just ruined the entire 6 minutes of having to record it in slow motion so that you can go back in Camtasia, edit it, and speed it up so it goes real fast. Not unlike the beginning of the last video where you saw that giant battleship going over the moon's surface. That actually took almost, I want to say, 7-8 minutes because I was recording it very slowly. If I had recorded it in real time, it was like chop, 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 because there was just so many parts it was dealing with, over 1,000 parts. So I recorded it super slowly, and then when I went to Camtasia, I sped up the clip, and it looked real smooth, and that's how I get those real smooth shots. So it's a lot of work for just a few seconds of footage, as you saw in the beginning there. So Duna 1 is going really, really slow right now, but there's so many good ideas in the pot right now, and so many great twists and turns, and I like to think original storytelling. I was kind of starting to lean on other sci-fi films. I think it was in Duna 1 Part 3. I started leaning towards the Apollo side, and I kind of burned myself on that one. I was like, oh, I better get off of that and just stick to something new, something original. And I think I found it, but we'll see. Anyway, so I've been twirling around in circles talking about crap. Well, this is the small battleship that we built in the last video, and I had a lot of comments. I pretty much downloaded the video, went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, it was like something like 700 views and 15 comments. I was like, whoa, that was quick. I don't think I've had a response time that quick before. Some of the issues that people were saying was that the backbone of the ship was sticking out, and that was an oversight on my part. I do apologize for that. Obviously, if you've seen the beginning of the first video, you'll see that the keel of the ship is not sticking out, so you don't. It's covered up by armor. So that was, like I said, that was an oversight on my part. Also, I was reminded that the nuclear engines do use just liquid fuel now. They don't use a mixture of oxidizer and liquid fuel. And at the time I was building this one, that never popped up in my head. And for us old KSP players, we're so used to nuclear rocket engines needing liquid fuel and oxidizer. So sometimes we forget, and I do apologize for that. So I went ahead and I built another one, completely from scratch. And if you see the delta V on this, 1077, tonnage 109, and 327 parts. Of course, this is without weapons. So the internals, if you remember from the video, let's go ahead and do some dissecting. Do some dissecting here, just like dissecting a frog. All right, so we're looking on the inside now. Okay, you see how I got I have the fuel tank separated. So if one blows up, it still has another one. The fuel is pumped into the keel of the ship and it goes to the engine. Now, the problem with this, of course, is that it's sort of old-fashioned. It doesn't get a whole lot of delta V. And that I thought that was it. That was going to be the truth of the matter, unfortunately. But when somebody brought up of that you could use nuclear engines and with liquid fuel, and it kind of hit me on the head. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, you can do that. Duh. I went ahead and built a new one. And so let's go ahead and don't save. It has more parts, of course, because with the new configuration of the engines, I had to kind of jury rig it and make do. But notice already off the bat, its delta V is 1,900, almost 2,000, so almost double. And that's with weapons. I went ahead and gave it a full set of Kraken torpedoes, and these things do a lot of damage, especially when they're armed. 4 of them is enough to destroy 4 vessels, so it's enough firepower for a small frigate-like ship like this. Yes, so we got 4 nuclear rocket engines, which doubles our delta V. Now I'm going to go ahead and dig into here so I can show you the internal workings of how I put this sucker together. If you notice, I went ahead and just covered every inch with plated armor underneath the cosmetic light armor. I say cosmetic because it makes it look good, but really it does help protect the ship more, because the missile hits the lighter armor first before it hits the harder armor, which of course slows down the projectile. Okay, so now we're looking inside here. Okay, so notice right off the bat, what I'm using are these small liquid fuel fuselages, 400. I think it's 400 a piece. So that's 4, and of course that's 8, and that's 1,600. Man, I can't do math in my head right now. I can't do math in my head right now. Anyway, so it was like, wow, and then I went ahead and gave them all. I separate them, but at the same time they're even separated. So this cluster, that's not 2, that's 4. See? Okay, so we got 4 of these. Well, 8 of them if you want to do that, but 4 of them because they're connected. So if a missile comes in, glitches or whatever, and blows up one side, we still have 3 more that are operational on top of the other segregated cluster of fuel tanks. So it's very redundant. Very hard to pop, So that's a good feature. But I ran into some problems because of the fact I didn't have oxidizer. That means these Vernor engines wouldn't work. And the Vernor engines, if we look over here, actually do require oxidizer in order to run. Now people say, well, why don't you just go ahead and use RCS fuel? Well, that means I have to add more weight and add more parts in order to get separate fuel for RCS. And of course, while this has a thrust power of 12, this only has a thrust power of 2. So I get more bang for the buck if I can find a way to make these work. And I don't have to use as many because I only have to need 1 in order to get the power of what? This is 12, this is 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You can imagine how many of those I would have to throw on there, plus the RCS fuel. So I went ahead and I sacrificed some Delta V for 4 small T400 fuel tanks, and I put them in the back. And so what this does is it powers not only the RCS, but also the reverse thrust engines. Now I was going to put another nuclear engine, excuse me, I keep on messing that up, back here, but it was so fat and it was heavy and it was in the way and it was just really clunky looking, and it didn't do, actually its thrust to weight ratio was not as good as just something small. Because if we're going to do like a dead stop over a moon, well, of course we're going to turn the ship around and burn backwards. But if we're coming up or approaching a space station, you want to be able to stop on the dime or stop rather quickly, and you're not going to be able to have enough time to turn around and burn opposite of the space station. So having reverse thrusters in a pinch is really nice for a large ship. But almost twice as much Delta V, which is really, really sweet. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice, and thank you for reminding me. An old KSP player like myself, I feel like I have like a long white beard. I've been doing this for a million years, I remember when KSP first came out. That was amazing. I was so transfixed on it. I only had like 5 parts to play with. And of course I extended the living quarters a little bit. The one thing I regret with this model, which I'll have to go back and of course rebuild, sadly. One thing I regret with this model is that I did not put an escape pod system on it. But anyway, it looks nice. It looks really nice. It's a lot of promise. And when 1.1 comes out, oh man, it's going to be fun. Don't save. Yes, please don't save. I need that. I need this chassis. I definitely need this chassis to build something new on. A lot of my crafts, ever since 1.5 came out, a lot of them don't work anymore. A lot of the weapons don't work anymore. A lot of different things don't work anymore. So this whole smorgasbord of crafts, some are broken, some work, some don't work, some need to be redesigned. The whole thing. Look at this. I have like a slew of weapons, and many of them are obsolete because of the thermodynamics and everything else, the changes of parts and whatnot. Some of them still work pretty well, but others need to be looked at, like this one, the longbow Sam. Look at that beautiful thing. This thing is evil deadly. It still works pretty well, but for some reason I'm having problems with what was it I'm having problems with? I forget. For some reason when I start going real fast, this piece gets real hot real quick and pops. It never used to do that, so I'm wondering if it's a glitch, maybe on my end. I'm not sure, but I'll have to figure that out. What's going on there? That's right. We're gonna look at the dragon one, the one that you guys saw floating above Kerbin's moon. There we go. That 1,1600 part mother fricker. The one that gave me 2 frames per second while I was trying to record that one scene. There she is. So she needs to be redesigned then. She needs to be a cluster of nuclear engines on either side, which probably doubled that number right there. So it is an ugly number, 900. She won't even make it to the freaking moon without help. Okay, so we got a full arsenal of weapons, as you can see. Kraken torpedoes. We've got anti-missile missiles. These things fan out and they hit the missile. They're very, very accurate. They got smaller missiles, hammerheads, with I-beam impact. It's really nice. And of course the internal structure. And these actually have escape pods. This whole bottom area right here, this whole bottom shelf, is designed to explode out in a way, while the escape pods make a run for it. So we're going to go ahead and dissect it. Notice that the armor is fully plated. This is going to take a while. I think you can also, okay, these are the decoys, yeah. You launch these in order to confuse the enemy, because he doesn't know where you are. So he'll fire a missile at you, and if there's 20 of you floating around, there's a good chance he'll aim for the wrong one. It's a defense weapon. But yeah, I think, I'm not sure, I haven't yet tested it out, but I think with the updates, your Kerbals can now enter through the docking clamp. Is that true? Oh, that'd be so cool if that was possible. I have waited forever for that to happen. Okay, so as you see here, it has the old-fashioned way of making things, so I'm gonna have to, which will, if I do the same thing I do here on the other ship that I showed you, that's gonna make the parts go through the roof for sure. Yeah. So I'm hoping 1.1 comes out. Here's hoping for 1.1, people. But anyway, so it's a fairly larger living area with, of course, 4 escape pods. But I like the bottom part. Yeah, because these pop right off. And of course, it opens up room for the emergency escape system, which is real nice. But anyway, so that's the internal workings of this beast. But cool. All right. So again, thank you for your shout outs of reminding me of that the nuclear rocket engines are a lot better now. They used to be kind of iffy back in the day, but now they're a lot better with the change. And yeah, sweet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am loopy, and I am tired, and I do not feel good at all. So, whoa. Oh, sorry. Almost coughed out a lung there. Had to catch myself. But you know what? Let me know in the comments below what kind of video you would like me to make next week. I'm going to have to go back to the way I used to with a video per week, because of it's just so much stuff on my plate right now. I'm seeing YouTubers left and right of me who started off like 2,000 subscribers, and all of a sudden they shot off into the stars, and I'm like, whoa, what'd they do? How'd they do that? How'd they do that? What am I doing wrong? A lot of people say that I have to go on Kerbal forums, some sort of KSP forums, and post my videos there, and I can get a lot more views. Cupcake Landers told me about that, and I don't know how to do that. I'm not really savvy when it comes to forums. I've been horrible at forums for the longest time. Because if I finally get Duna 1 out, I'm thinking I'm gonna really put a lot into it. I mean, in my head, I've already finished the story. If I can get halfway, or even all the way, or something close to that with the Duna, get like an hour and a half video of the entire Duna thing, which would be really cool if I could do that. That way you don't have to worry about waiting. You could just watch it all in one shot. It'd be kind of cool. I would like to get KSP Forum on there, and so I can, show everybody that and get a whole lot of views. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and rest now. But I will definitely catch you next week. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and also I apologize for those of you who like Fallout and like the Planet Base, as well as the Alien Isolation videos. Those will have to take a back seat until I can get everything sorted out. So 1 video a week, sometimes 2, we'll see. And maybe even a live stream, who knows. But well, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. It really helped this month. It covered some bills that would have unfortunately been a little tight recently. I got a lot of overtime with this snow though. Woohoo! So I'm hoping to see that come in next month. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. How many times have I said that already? Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Stay awesome.
Much larger chamber than the other one. There's a lot of debris on the ground. There's twisted metal here. Well, this doesn't make any sense.